Congratulations, Pidgey. You played yourself. You played yourself, Pidgey.
A modern podcast where Chris and Mike talk about TV, movies, superheroes, and everything in between. It's time for Superhero Slate.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name's Mike Royer.
And this week, The Suicide Squad is now in theaters. You can see it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. gained some public knowledge.
Okay.
The Hulk crashes the Thor movie set.
Okay.
And more.
Ooh, and more. So, it's another week, another episode of the Superhero Slate. We saw a movie this weekend, but before we get into that, I watched something amazing on Netflix this weekend. Can you guess what I watched?
Something not normal. Probably something strange. If I was betting.
It's not normal stuff. Also known as Stranger Things. Have you watched it yet?
I have not. That's a big time commitment. I'm not ready to make yet.
Actually, it's not as big as some of the other series on Netflix is because it's only 8 episodes. So you're looking like if you wanted to watch it, like we almost watched it on Friday night. So to kind of preface this, I didn't really know anything about Stranger Things on Netflix. I saw like a trailer for it like inside Netflix like months back. And it's very vague. It doesn't really let you know what's going on. So I was just like, okay, there's a show coming up, Stranger Things. But then by the time it actually came out, like a week ago, all I remembered was the title. So I was like, oh, this is really cool. Like I have no idea what this is, but everybody's talking about it. Everyone says this show's awesome. So I did my best throughout this week trying to avoid people talking about it. Apparently, like all the artists that I follow online are doing fan art of it. So I had to just like scroll really fast past the fan art. So I didn't want to see any spoilers. So me and the wife go into the show just really not knowing anything, and it was really great. And the show just like sucks you in. If we started it a little bit earlier on Friday evening, we would have watched all 8 episodes in a row. It's that addicting. But we would have been up until like 4 in the morning, and the following morning at 10 a.m. is when we were gonna go see Suicide Squad. So I was just like, okay, I need a little sleep before I go see Suicide Squad. So Stranger Things is really, really awesome. I don't want to give anything away to anyone that hasn't seen it yet, but the best way to describe it is if you mix a J.J. Abrams Super 8, which is pretty much the DNA of Spielberg, mix that with the anime Akira, and meld those two things together, and you get this just really wonderful like 8 episodes of this really just awesome show. Like I don't want to give anything away. I don't want to describe it too much. It's fun going in not knowing much, but that's kind of what I was told when I went into it. So you got to watch Stranger Things because everyone's going to be talking about it. You don't want to fall behind. It's so good. So I'm going to recommend you watch it, Chris, because it's so awesome.
Well, I will definitely put it on the Netflix queue. Right now, my TV is being consumed by the Olympics probably for the next week.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about that.
Yeah. So we're not sports people.
No.
However, the Olympics are interesting because I guess it's the only time we're very, very strong patriots. Is what we're finding. Oh yeah, America, we're gonna win whatever this is. Like today's swimming and bicycling, I think.
Yeah, there was some volleyball earlier this morning for me at least. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those times. I feel like since America is such a big superpower, and even though we're a united front, we're fractured into 50 different states that are the size of most countries out there. So I feel like this is like the one time where we kind of get to come together and just like feel okay about like screw your country, we're gonna demolish you in volleyball. Take that. Even though I think Poland took the match this morning against USA, but oh well. But I can get behind sports when it's like surrounded by like an event,
Well, it's not just we're not limiting ourselves to one sport this week. There's a plethora of things we could definitely find interest in, even if, you know, we're not into, you know, maybe swimming per se, but we like bike racing, I guess.
Yeah, like if a sporting event is eventized, like the Olympics or the Super Bowl or some sort of like big thing, or like even like the World Cup, like that can be fun because I feel like there's a lot of kind of new viewers in it, so you don't feel like so just out of bounds. Like I would feel really weird going to like just like a normal season game of a sport that I don't really watch because I'd just be totally out of the loop. But yeah, the Olympics are fun. They just kicked off. So this is also like one of the few times we ever turn on our television. Like I mean like normal broadcast TV, because we're Netflix streaming people, hardcore. You know, we're what's called like a cord cutter family. So I was just like, I turned on the TV and it's plugged into our digital antenna I got on Amazon, and I asked my wife, I was like, honey, what channel is NBC? I don't know what it is on this. So we just kind of scrolled through. I was like, I think it's a lower number out here. And then we found it. We're like, oh, cool. Then I'm always like shocked that it's like, oh man, I feel like I'm streaming HD right now. It's like, no, you idiot. This is broadcast television. You're not streaming really anything, even though you kind of are. So we get to kind of catch up on like commercials that I haven't seen in forever. Like, I didn't know El Pollo Loco had a commercial with a talking flame of fire telling me about it's loaded quesadilla. So now I know about loaded quesadillas.
Wow. That's new. We don't have those commercials here. They're all localized. But, I mean, I think some news we found later in the day actually came from watching the Olympics.
Yeah, it was like
which is kind of interesting.
It was some nerd cred. I was just like, I was working on the images for a podcast. I look over my shoulder. I was like, I wonder if Chris knows about that. We'll talk about that today.
I did not. So, I mean, again, we're cord cutters here. We don't subscribe to any cable or satellite provider, but our live TV runs into the Xbox. Mm-hmm. You plug the antenna.
That's some like next level technology there.
Yeah, and it's really cool, and it gives us our TV guide so we can see what's coming on. Like it downloads the guide for us in our local like channels. You can pause it, and then like it stores up to 4 hours. So if you have to go somewhere or you need to go do something, you can pause it.
It'll DVR your broadcast television for you?
Not necessarily DVR, but it will pause whatever channel you're watching.
It doesn't have a DVR feature?
Not yet. This is simply because Xboxes don't have the hard drive space to record TV shows and stuff like that. So
they got all those teraflops and they can't even use them.
Well, that's the next one's the teraflops.
Like we'll be able
actual
to
pixels.
We'll DVR the entire planet for you.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, there's that. And then I mean also like it's cool because on the Xbox, if you have the Xbox app on your like tablet or phone, it will stream the live TV to your Xbox apps on your local network.
Man, that's so much. That's so much streaming.
So while I'm playing like Deadpool, which I recently purchased at a discount at Best Buy, my wife can keep the Olympics on the iPad, wherever she's working on stuff at. So it's definitely interesting. Definitely, they make this home media box stuff really really easy and simple.
Keeping families from arguing.
Mm-hmm. And the last thing I want to add before we jump into the news here is my aunt I finally got our wedding present from her today. And she got me a Captain America waffle maker, and it makes the shield.
That's awesome! That's awesome! I love that
in the waffle. And I'm like, everyone else. I mean, nothing against anybody else, but that is the best wedding gift. Like, this is gonna get used more than anything else. I made waffles for the first time this morning, Mike.
First time ever? You've never made waffles before?
I made waffles at like hotels and like the dorm cafeterias, but like never in my own home have I made a waffle.
Oh, really? So, wow. Is it like a deep Belgian waffle, or is it just kind of more like an Eggo thickness waffle?
It's a nice mix of the two, to be honest.
Gotcha.
I really like it. I mean, you can cook it, and it cooks it just right. Like I cooked 3, didn't burn any. Everything was great. She even got us some like local like jams and jellies to put on it, so that was pretty exciting.
Man, we got to get a waffle sponsorship up in here. Plug that waffle iron. Maybe we'll get some dollars.
Well, in case anyone wants, maybe I'll put the link to purchase this in the show notes. It's only like $30. It's stupid cheap.
Do that
it's
Amazon
awesome.
Affiliate link.
Yeah, Amazon. You want us. You need us to do this. So, other than that, that's about all I got. Anything else? Oh, and I'll talk about it later. I'll talk about it later when we get to the topic.
All right.
So, we have not talked one bit about anything Suicide Squad related up to this point.
Yeah, we go dark. As soon as we see a movie, we go dark until we get in front of a microphone.
Pretty much. So I saw it Thursday night at 6 p.m. IMAX 3D, which, that's the earliest screening, so whatever, I'll buy it. And you saw it yesterday morning. At your theater with the reclining seats.
Yeah, that's the go-to.
Gotcha. I've already recorded one podcast this week with local people about what I thought of this movie, Mike. Go ahead, and since I talked about it yesterday, go ahead. What did you think, Mike? Where do you fit on the Suicide Squad? I guess thoughts and review?
Yeah. So just to preface, this is going to be just a quick spoiler-free heads up from me. We got a whole spoiler cast that if you subscribe to us, it'll pop up in your feed where you can get all the spoilers. So you don't have to worry about any of that here, but. It's a little difficult for me to review this movie because I feel like before you can even say anything, you got to address all of the kind of controversy around it. Just because, people are getting pretty ridiculous between the conflict between critics and moviegoers. But all I can say is it's not as bad as everybody is saying it is. But that doesn't mean, on the other hand, it makes it good. Like I was entertained, but there were still a lot of things that I just couldn't just look past in this movie, which was hard because this seemed like it was going to be something different and unique. It just didn't quite deliver. You kept telling me for weeks and weeks that you were excited because you had no idea what this movie was going to be about, and you were really excited because even after like 9 trailers, you still felt like you were in the dark. And I felt like after we went and saw the movie, like we really didn't get to anything really that special. Another way I've been describing it to people is because obviously you kind of have to compare it to the last Warner Brothers movie that was released. And when I saw Batman vs. Superman, that movie made me mad. Like, when I watch the movie, I get angry. When I watch this movie, I didn't get angry, but it doesn't mean I liked the movie, So it's like without really getting into any spoilers, that's the best way I can describe this movie. I would never go into hyperbole about this movie. There's some people out there that are saying dumpster fire or worst movie ever made or just horrible atrocity. Like, that's just ridiculous. Like, that's like way too far on one end. And just as ridiculous as the other people that are saying like, oh, these critics, they don't understand what movies are. This is made for the moviegoers. Oh, everyone's a Marvel fanboy. So once you just kind of get all that, out of the way, we'll talk more about that in the spoiler cast. But I think it's safe to say that it's definitely not my favorite superhero movie of the year by far.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the same way. I lean a little bit more towards the critic side of this because I enjoy the first third of the movie, the first maybe half, and then it's like it hits a wall. Like, this movie just hits a wall and cannot get over the middle and the second 2/3 of this movie. Like, it's like a whole different movie. And to me, it's not as bad as Batman v Superman. You're right. I wasn't mad. I just don't care anymore about anything.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm not mad at you. I'm disappointed in you. And I honestly can't. If I was to review it, I would give it 4 out of 10. Because someone asked me last night where would I put it. I'm like, well, I got to give it 4 out of 10 because it's not really even just a movie. It's a little bit below an average movie.
Yeah, and honestly, that's kind of where me and my wife landed when we came out of the theater. When we leave a movie and we hop in the car, because we're respectable people, we save our opinions until we're behind the doors in our car, because we don't want anybody strolling into the theater hearing our opinions, because we're nice people. We don't want to spoil anything. But we kind of landed around like the same number, kind of like that 4 out of 10, 40% kind of area. Because like what now? It's like tracking around like 20-30% on Rotten Tomatoes, something like that.
It's 26 right now. I actually just pulled it up while you were talking.
Yeah, I don't think it's that low.
Okay. Well, again, Rotten Tomatoes is a and we'll talk about this in a minute, is a rating for enjoyability factor. 26% of this movie is enjoyable. I agree with that. Wholeheartedly. But the rest of the other 74%, it's just like, I don't know. It's like two things about this movie annoy me, and I'm not going to spoil this. Is the music annoys me. I think it's the same sound editor who did Batman v Superman, because they can't edit music and sound to save their lives in this universe. Mm-hmm. And I forget what the other one. It feels like there's another cut of this movie somewhere that we haven't seen. That's probably better yet again.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we have a lot to say about this movie, but it will spoil it. So
exactly. So my just before we I'm not gonna say spoilers, but I say wait till it gets on home video. Don't go see it in theater. If I was to tell anyone that would be my thing. Watch it, but don't watch it in the theater.
All right, I think that sums it up for Suicide Squad, the spoiler-free review or overview, if you will.
Exactly.
Reactions. I think reactions is a good way to put it. You say review and reactions.
Review and reactions. It's in the show notes, so that's what we're going to go with. So, in this whole debacle here of Suicide Squad, and we, where we sit here, Rotten Tomatoes has really taken the brunt of the
they're taking
reviews.
A little bit of a beating for a user submitted.
And this is again the second time this has happened this year. Mm-hmm. The first time being with Batman v Superman, and now Suicide Squad, and you can kind of tell people, they go both ways on this. But in the meantime, this week, this DC fans created a petition on change.org to shut down Rotten Tomatoes because they didn't agree with the critic reviews of Suicide Squad.
Oh my god. I mean, that's just like, I was just surprised when I heard it, because I was just like, come on, people. First of all, do you think this petition is really going to do anything at all? And then it's just ridiculous to begin with. So I don't even know how to react, honestly. It's just so silly.
So the guy who put it up, actually, he's like, he wanted to create awareness of this or something, but he ended up taking it down a couple days later. I don't know if it's one of those, another one has returned in its place or not since then. But I think it's just something, where we say that, again, Rotten Tomatoes is not a place that judges the movie on how good it is. Okay. That's your own person. You find your own reviews, you get your own critics who you like and agree with you, you go with them, because everyone has their own different taste. Rotten Tomatoes and their tomato meter are more of an enjoyability factor for someone who doesn't know what the movie may be.
Or I would almost say it's more of a recommendation factor, because it's like on Rotten Tomato, the people that review the movie basically get a yes or a no. Like, do you recommend this movie? Is it fresh or is it not? So it's just going to show you the percentage of people that think it's fresh and it isn't. So it's just like, I could totally, if I could look at a sample size of just of 100 people that went and saw that movie, I would totally get that maybe only like, what is it, 28%?
It's 26%, so 1 in 4.
I could totally see that maybe only 25, 26 people in that lineup like really would recommend and enjoy that movie. So like, I think sometimes people just get caught up in their fandom, and it just gets a little too harsh. Like, one of my favorite and most enjoyable movies of the year, like not my number one, but I still had a lot of fun seeing the movie, was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows. That's a 38% on Rotten Tomato now. I have made total peace with that. I knew it wasn't going to be fresh. I knew it wasn't going to be in like the 70s or 80s or the 60s. I knew it was going to be low, but I had a fun time seeing that movie. But I don't go around saying Rotten Tomato needs to be shut down. That's so dumb. People are just get so worked up. I mean, I don't.
They just don't get it.
Yeah, it feels kind of like back in the day of like the console wars. It feels like Apple versus Microsoft, Xbox versus PlayStation. I just feel like there's always going to be something out there for people to push back and forth about. I feel like there's no solution. It's always going to be something.
Yeah, again, shutting down Rotten Tomatoes doesn't solve the problem that this movie is, again, mediocre. Critics are still going to review it, and again, if you don't like that critic, find one you do like. It's a very simple solution here. But I mean, I don't think. Again, on the tomato meter, 1 out of 4 people would enjoy it. I could see that. But I don't know. I mean, 73% on the audience score right now out of ratings. And that's Batman v Superman is actually, I think, lower, but it has almost 4 times as many user ratings. Yeah. So the first week, we just got to let it settle for a little bit. I mean, 9 Lives came out this weekend with Kevin Spacey as a cat, right? It's sitting at 4% right now. I don't see anyone writing a petition, Kevin Spacey fans writing a petition to shut it down.
Yeah, and it, sometimes I feel like people just think critics like aren't real people. I think when people imagine a critic, they get this older kind of stereotype in their head of like, Ebert and Roper or Roger and Ebert or whatever combination.
Roger and Ebert. That was his name, Roger Ebert, but
whatever combination you got going there. I think they're just thinking of just some stuffy old white guy that's just with like silver white hair and glasses, just like being a curmudgeon going to the theaters like, I didn't like this movie. Like, that's not every critic out there now. Like the majority of critics that get traction out there are just like these are people in front of the camera vlog style on YouTube. I mean, that's kind of where, like, when I want to see movie reviews, like, that's kind of usually where I go to YouTube and I find people like Chris Stuckman, Movie Bob, people like that. So that's
Chris
kind of
Dillard,
where that's kind of where I kind of get my movie reviews from. Like, I don't open up the newspaper and look for the movie column and look for the review of Suicide Squad. These reviews come from a lot of different places. So I think people need to realize that a lot of the critics out there that are attributing it this Rotten Tomato score are normal people too. They're fan of movies. So I think sometimes you just need to come.
And most of the people making these petitions, stuff like that, are already gonna see the movie. This is for assistance for people who don't know if they're gonna see the movie. Mm-hmm. So I mean, going against it's not gonna solve your problem. They've already got your money.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
I don't know. Yeah, it's silly and it's dumb, and we're not a part of that system. We're not. We go our own ways. Let's shift some gears and some news. We haven't talked news yet. We're in this show quite a bit here, so let's talk some news. Supergirl Season 2 coming out later this year. You got a first image of the new Superman, Tyler Hoechlin, creating an iconic Superman moment while filming there. And he doesn't look that bad in this photo, to be honest, running down the street.
He looks a little better. I trashed him, I think, a little bit last week because he just didn't really look like Superman to me from that photo. This is looking a little bit more, like a little better because, like you said, it's more iconic for him. He almost looks like TV buff. I feel like when you get a movie made, your actor can just get ridiculously ripped because he has specific scenes where he's going to be showing up in front of camera. But this is like TV buff. He's just like, I'm going to be in front of the camera for months doing 23 episodes or whatever. He's like, I got to be able to maintain this buff body because I'm always imagining kind of like Bruce Timm's just giant iconic Superman from the animated series, or even the Superman from the new movies is pretty buff, but I'm getting more on board with this. This seems to be a little bit more in context.
Their first official image was kind of shit, to be honest. And the more set photos I see, the more I'm like, okay, this guy looks all right. I'll get behind him. So this iconic scene, I want to see how it plays out. Maybe I'll watch Supergirl. Maybe I'll see how Superman fits in all this.
Yeah.
But a couple other things from filming. Their Metropolis is a key city in the upcoming season because that's where Superman lives, of course. And Supergirl will be there in Metropolis. But also something interesting, there are Luthor Corp signs in some of the images. And you can see it's Luthor. We know it was called. I forget what it's called in the movies. It's not Luthor Corp. It's Lex Corp because his name's I'm not the Lex in front of the sign, right? Luthor Corp, I believe, is more from Smallville, which is actually the TV show from the early 2000s on the CW. But I thought that the name change was interesting to see that.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'll be curious if a Luthor. I have a feeling if a Luthor is going to show up in the CW universe, it'll be like a cousin or something. Like Warner Brothers wouldn't let us bring in Lex or a brother or maybe invent a sister or something like that. We have to go with the second cousin who's got like a potato farm in Iowa or something. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it looks like more of a family business with this. I believe I don't have it in front of me. Katie McGrath, the actress, I have no idea who this is playing Lena Luthor in this season, and that's. I would share the photos, but they don't. They look like generic actresses. So I'm like, you know what, whatever. But it is the sister of Lex Luthor. So just to give that a heads up.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so that's fun. Supergirl looks like they're kind of pulling out all the stops on the CW. Like, I'm really surprised they didn't do that when it was on a bigger network, you know. So, oh well. Speaking of the CW, the Flash, we got updates that the Flashpoint universe will not last all of season 3.
Yeah, and I've kind of been thinking that too, just in my head. Like, there's no way they're going to let this go an entire season, because if you think about it, like, if you're familiar with Flashpoint, you know it affects everything, but you know kind of at the end of the day, when the story arc is over, things kind of go back to how they were for the most part. You know, they go back to normal. So I never thought that they were going to do an entire season and basically, quote unquote, undo it in the last episode, because then it's like that season never really happened. So I think you said the other week that you think it's going to go up until the winter break. I think it's going to be possibly even shorter, maybe like 4 episodes.
Maybe this will tie into the Supergirl crossover as well. The Flashpoint affecting all the other universes, kind of like a Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of storyline. Maybe, I don't know. We'll have to kind of play it by ear, but I mean that's starting up pretty soon in the next couple months. I think we're 2 months away, if not less, from TV starting back up. So
yeah, it's pretty funny. You remember being a little kid back in school, elementary school, like summer was your life. You never wanted it to end. And now I'm just like, is summer over yet? I really need the Flash to come back on.
Yeah. It's definitely different. I mean, you get to watch your Stranger Things and Preacher, but like, where's the regularness? Like, I need schedule, like I need routine in my life.
Well, you know, Chris, when you get older, you're always hoping to be a little bit more regular.
All right, that's why I eat Activia. But we're not sponsored by them either. Speaking of fall TV shows, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. give us a season 4 synopsis here. There's a lot going on in this synopsis. It's
like I'm looking at a wall of text right here.
Yes, so I don't think this will all be in the show notes, but I'm gonna read through it so we can kind of break it down. I'll do one paragraph at a time and talk about it. So, in the aftermath of their journey to another planet, director Phil Coulson and the rest of the team were driven more than ever to put an end to the Hydra organization. Little did they know they're up against the deadliest threat they've ever faced, Hive, and they lost Lincoln and Grant along the way. That's pretty much the first. It's a recap, right? We know what happened. But here, it starts to pick up and say, in the second paragraph, in the light of the Sokovia Accords, that's a Civil War reference, and with Hydra obliterated, S.H.I.E.L.D. has been legitimized again and no longer needs to operate in the shadows. That's good, I think. We haven't seen S.H.I.E.L.D. in the... Or I guess, who knows what they'll come back in the movie, but they've been underground since, Civil War? Or not Civil War, Winter Soldier, right?
Yep, since Winter Soldier.
So 2 seasons in the dark, and now they're back in the light. And since the world presumes Coulson is dead, the organization needs a new director to be the face of the organization. So that's why Coulson isn't the director anymore, because he's quote unquote dead. But I mean, Nick Fury always was the head of S.H.I.E.L.D. quote unquote died in the comics, but whatever, I don't care. But he's teamed with Mac in the show. We like Mac. He's got a shotgun chainsaw, not a chainsaw, a shotgun axe for this season. Looks pretty sick. And are tasked with tracking down and confirming the presence of enhanced people, aka the Inhumans. They've been trying to track down and capture Daisy, who has gone rogue in an attempt to atone from sins from the past. But with the world believing that Daisy's a dangerous outlaw who has taken down banks and bridges, the new director has no qualms with taking her down for good. So, gonna be some family drama here. It's all about family. Sounds like Fast and Furious movies. Agent May is tasked with training specialist strike teams, and Fitz and Simmons have taken a big step forward in their relationship. Wink, wink, hint, hint. But Simmons' new promotion as special advisor to the director in science and technology, Fitz, as well as her former team members, find it hard to confide in her trust of her since she's the director's confidant.
So that's all great, but where's my Ghost Rider?
Well, that's the last. I got to get to all this boring stuff, right? We got new status quo in the show, but here we go. Robbie Reyes will roar into the lives of Agent Coulson and the team as a junkyard mechanic who can turn on the dime into a terrifying Ghost Rider. Will Robbie be a friend or foe to S.H.I.E.L.D. as well as the world itself? Meanwhile, Fitz discovers that socially awkward genius and friend Dr. Radcliffe has started putting the finishes touches on a new secret invention, the robot we saw at the end of season 3.
Yeah, the life model decoys, right?
Yeah, life model decoys. Ada as well, the robot chick.
We're going to have robots, we're going to have Ghost Riders, we're going to have Inhumans. We're going to be at a new 10 p.m. time slot. They have everything to prove this season because I feel like no matter what, they got the full season order. We don't have to worry about a shortened season. They're getting all 23 episodes. I feel like this is the season they have to prove to ABC and Marvel that like we are gonna last. You can get a couple more seasons out of this investment. So I'm hoping all this works. Like I never thought I would have said this a couple seasons ago when the show was just kind of meandering, but I feel like it's grown into something watchable, and I think that's the best way I can put it. I was looking forward to this every week towards the end of last season. So they've turned this hater into a lover. So I think that's good for them.
Yeah. So I mean, it's definitely. People who watched the first season probably fell off the boat and aren't coming back. But 2 and 3, kind of balls to the wall. They just kind of kept giving us new stuff, and it looks like they're just going to keep throwing things at us because once they detach themselves from the movies a little bit more, I think that's where they're really starting to grow. They're like, we can do what we want by ourselves without trying to rely on the TV or the movie universe as well. Like, we exist, but we don't have to reference them every time something happens.
Do you think they're going to find some sort of crazy convoluted way to bring Ward back? Like,
I think he's gone.
Because I mean, they're doing these life model decoys. You think they're gonna bring back the actor in robot form? Like, okay, we killed you off. We brought you back as an alien host. Now we're gonna bring you back as a robot. Hopefully, you can stay on as a robot. We like you.
I mean, if they did, it would be interesting because I think he had to reinvent himself every 6 months on that show. Because he was part of the team, and he was a Hydra agent, and then he was a prisoner, and then he was trying to start a new Hydra. And then he got killed. Like, I don't know, man. He was probably one of the best parts of that show by the end, even if you didn't like him at the start. So,
man, now I'm hoping they bring him back as a robot because I think that would be hilarious.
Yeah, probably lose a lot of people right at the gate if they did that. Like, all right, but who knows? That brings us to one of the spinoffs from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that didn't happen. Marvel's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
ABC. The president said that the pilot wasn't as strong as other pilots brought to him this year, and that's understandable. I would rather them not make a mediocre show just to make one and, say, we don't need to do this, let's be smart about it. Then give us, just a mediocre TV show, because I think a lot of those happen.
I mean, it wouldn't last, more than likely. I mean, if Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is taking all the resources and it's kind of getting a little wishy-washy, I don't think a mediocre show with some...
I don't know where you've gotten this rumor that S.H.I.E.L.D.'s wishy-washy. Like,
I mean, it's getting moved to 10 p.m. That's not a good sign.
Well, we talked about that, but now that they've announced Ghost Rider, they can't put Ghost Rider on a 9 o'clock time slot.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, we'll have to see how mature
They're talking
it
about
gets.
flaming skulls and demons and hellfire.
I think it's getting moved to 10 p.m. For bad reasons, but they're doing everything they can in their power to make lemonade out of lemons, and I think they're doing a good job.
I'm on the other side that they moved it there because they knew we can use Ghost Rider. Let's do it. Let's just be a more adult oriented. But that's fine. Either way,
we'll have to see.
Most Wanted can be shopped to other networks.
Is that what they're saying?
Option. That's what they said. ABC, they don't have a qualm if Marvel wanted to take it to another network, they could definitely do that. Why would they do that? I have no idea. But I guess that kind of would make sense. Maybe Netflix if they wanted to, or Amazon. Well, Amazon, wherever, streaming services. But I don't think they will. I honestly think the show has a boot in it and is done.
Yeah.
And the characters can come back to S.H.I.E.L.D. if they want to now.
I mean, if I see anything getting shopped around to another network, it's maybe Agent Carter. I don't really see Marvel's Most Wanted getting back off the ground.
Yeah. And it would just be weird to have something in the same continuity on another network. That'd just be too weird. But however, ABC President is also rethinking this TV model, and this may be the first step in it. That they may take a more Netflix approach to some of their TV shows. Going forward.
I mean, they're really dialing into their Netflix model. I mean, they've improved so much. Now they want to put out 3 series every single year. The shows are doing phenomenal on Netflix. It's really some of the best superhero content Marvel has made has gone to Netflix, and I think the model is working really well for them. I still kind of like something that I can see every single week, even if it is, technically lower quality. So I hope something kind of stays on a week by week basis. I don't know what that's going to be.
Well, what if they did two new, like maybe a Marvel anthology show where it's 13 episodes, one in the fall, one in the spring, and that's still 26 episodes like a TV show. Yeah,
that would be kind of cool too. But I feel like I don't want them to get fractured, too much. I don't want okay, they're gonna do Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC. They have one show over on NBC. They got something else over at TNT. Yeah, I feel like that's just this is bizarre.
This is ABC saying this. Anything that comes out will be on ABC. So, it would still be on the same network.
Oh, all right.
It's not Marvel saying they're rethinking their TV model. It's ABC rethinking their Marvel TV model.
No, because okay, I gotcha.
We have Damage Control possibly in the works still. There's a rumored Miss Marvel Kamala Khan TV show in the works as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
it was that's a new rumor I read about. There's this guy working on a TV show for Marvel, and he has been for a year, but they didn't say what it was. So there's a couple other things, but I don't know. We'll see what they do. Maybe it'll be good no matter what they do. I think they're learning that they can't just put out mediocre stuff for Marvel anymore. So I don't know. We'll play it by ear. We'll keep you informed on the TV shows. You like Star Wars, Mike?
Man, who doesn't like Star Wars?
Stupid people. That's it. No, I'm kidding. You cannot like Star Wars. We don't care. The ABC president, same as above, has been having talks with Lucasfilm to get a live-action series to TV for Star Wars. Man,
because, TV's so hot right now, as some may say. Everything's got to have a TV component, I feel, just because that's where all the eyeballs are going. Like I just said, I sunk 8 hours of my life into Stranger Things over the last 2 days, and I'm sure every media empire is not turning their nose up at that. So I wonder. I'm kind of curious. Where does this TV series fit into the Star Wars universe?
There's been other talks, or I guess not talks, but back before Lucasfilm was sold to Disney, they'd written 80 episodes of a live-action TV series, full scripts and everything, and they just never made them. And maybe they're trying to adapt those to a network, maybe that. I don't know where it would fit either. Is it in the current universe? Is it in a past universe? I don't know. It does leave a lot of questions open, and if they could actually do it and do it well. I would hate to see bad Star Wars stuff.
Oh, yeah, no one wants to see bad Star Wars, especially since it's come back in such a positive way.
We've already did that. We already put ourselves through the loop. So, Rogue One is the next Star Wars movie, as we know, and this is actually what we were talking about earlier. Mike saw a trailer. A teaser for a trailer?
It was an announcement? It was the background music from the Rogue One trailer mixed in with some shots of the Olympics, which was kind of weird to see. But yeah, they're basically just saying there's a new Rogue One trailer coming Thursday. I think it's in the evening during some sort of Olympic event. So basically, NBC is just trying to let everybody know, hey, we got this trailer and we got the Olympics. We're putting them together. You don't want to miss Thursday night here. So I have a feeling it's probably going to be something along the lines of what you maybe sent to me from Star Wars Celebration. You had some cam footage that you sent my way, and I was like, no, I can't. This is too bad. I'm going to wait until I see something official.
Yeah, well, there's no other way to make sure the whole world's watching you than release it during the Olympics. So, so I imagine we're going to get our first look at Darth Vader for the first time in this new one. So
we'll see something there. So we'll be talking about that next week for sure.
Yes, definitely. And if you want to watch it live, it'll probably be on the internet Friday or Thursday night, and I'm sure we'll share it on our Facebook and stuff. But we'll definitely break it down for you next week. So
yeah, I have no idea if it's just going to be because technically if they said new trailer here, is that just going to be a TV spot? I think the longest trailer I've ever seen on TV was at most a minute, 58 seconds. So I don't even know if this is a full-fledged trailer or not, but maybe they'll be see the whole thing at, youtube.com/Star Wars. I don't know. We'll have something to see and talk about next week.
Yeah. It makes me think back to the, I guess the Super Bowl spots.
Yeah.
Whenever Avengers did theirs, they had their first trailer was during the Super Bowl spot.
Yeah.
And it was actually pretty good for a minute. So
we'll just have to see how it goes.
yeah, definitely. So that brings us to some Marvel movie news. Let's talk a little bit about that. So I got my Doctor Strange San Diego Comic-Con pop in the mail this week. Apparently those were shipped to other stores locally, like GameStop and Barnes & Noble and stuff. So I technically didn't have to order it off eBay, but I did anyway. It looks pretty chill. But we got some new images from Doctor Strange. One of them shows him casting magic. It looks like a little green magic with the Eye of Agamotto glowing green right out of his chest, kind of like a little spotlight there. Big fan theory is the Eye of Agamotto is the time gem.
Maybe
for the Infinity Stones. We don't know which one it is, or if it even is one, but we're pretty sure it is, because even in the trailer, there's a little scene where everything's going backwards in time and being put back together. So, definitely interesting. We're gonna play that one by ear. Really excited to see what that is. But this picture looks cool. I like it. And lastly, another image of the dimensions. The cities are folding in on each other here, and it looks like you're looking through a kaleidoscope, I guess, of New York City. But it's trippy as hell.
Yeah, I got to see the new, or I guess the second Doctor Strange trailer in front of Suicide Squad yesterday on the big screen, and that was really cool. And since we had more of these effects in that trailer, that was really impressive to see on the big screen. So November 4th can't come fast enough.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. And as you can look closely there, about I guess the middle of it is the Avengers Tower there. So the Avengers Tower is big there, and it looks. This might be something, I don't know how these are folding in and no one's noticing the city folding in on itself. Maybe it's multiple dimensions of New York folding in on itself. I don't know how this is going to work out, and it really has me even more curious as to why all these effects look the way they do and what's going on. So I'm really, really excited to get some answers out of Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Followed up with that, next spring we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And we have our better look at Yondu from the film with his brand new fin.
Man, we're really getting a lot of Yondu.
Yeah. We haven't seen any of Ego, the Living Planet, or no Mantis live action shots either. But they're definitely showing up, hey, Yondu has a fin, guys. We're listening to you. And it's a black and white photo and some profile shot, and that's really about it. It's Yondu. It's Michael Rooker. We know what we're gonna get with him.
Yeah, him and James Gunn are they've been friends for a while. So I think anytime he gets a chance to show off Yondu, he's just like, yeah, this will be fun.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, we want to show something off. What can we show this early? And they're like, not the Guardians. Find something else.
Yeah, so, get Yondu out here. Put that fin on his head.
That's right. Watch him be in the movie like 3 minutes. But no, he's a big part of it. Later next year is Thor Ragnarok, probably one of our most anticipated movies of the year. Surprisingly, next year, and that's a year with Guardians 2 and Spider-Man. New photos from the set show what appears to be the Hulk, a reference for the Hulk and Mark Ruffalo on an Asgard set.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking a nap down there.
Yeah, so this is like, it may be a Hulk out scene is probably what I'm guessing. Mark Ruffalo, or he's either turning from the Hulk into Ruffalo, or Ruffalo's getting ready to Hulk out in Asgard, or wherever this place may be. It looks very Asgardian architecture from
yeah, we got like a gondola type of boat, some Asgardian architecture. It's definitely it's a built set, that's for sure. I see like unfinished stuff in the background. So
this is a huge set they built, I think, out in Australia for this. So or New Zealand, one of those two areas, and they've built like almost like a whole Asgardian city, which is awesome. So yeah, you can take a look at that. Fun fact, maybe not. Mark Ruffalo has wrapped his production on the film in person.
I think that's not surprising.
I don't think it's not a Hulk movie, so therefore I don't think we're gonna get a lot of him. But Thor teaming up with the Hulk means the Hulk needs to be his CGI form. So,
yeah, exactly. The Hulk comes to life in the computer.
Yes, it does, and they make him look better every time he shows up. So it's that much better. So the Hulk's mostly CGI. Really looking forward to that. And lastly, this image just popped up right before we started recording. A Quinjet that Hulk, flew away on at the end of Age of Ultron, #spoilers, is being built, and it's on some sort of like wooden platform set. So I don't know.
Well, #spoilers doesn't work after you've said the spoiler.
Oh man!
But yeah, I think you have to infer that has to be his Quinjet, just because we're talking like I think we've had reports that this movie like doesn't take place at all like on Earth, or if it does, it's just very briefly. So there's really no reason for them to build a Quinjet. So it makes sense that that's the one that he flew off in. So
I think Thor didn't use one. He used the Rainbow Bridge to
I think we were toying around with the idea earlier before we started recording that maybe he flies from some sort of portal. Somehow this Quinjet gets mixed up in some business and lands up in Asgard.
Yeah,
I feel like maybe I would put my money on Loki. He's always somebody trying to pull the strings. He got his ass handed to him by the Hulk, so maybe he's like, oh, if I can control the Hulk, I can really be the most powerful person in the universe. So maybe he's like, oh, I'll bring the Hulk over here, control his mind, beat up my brother, and everything will be good. And something tells me it doesn't work out for him.
I'm going to go the other way and say the Grandmaster is picking like the universe's strongest beings to fight in the arena. And the Hulk is one of those, and he kind of picks him out of space or whatever, or portals him to where he is.
I like that idea too. So maybe Thor doesn't realize he's there until Thor gets thrown into the ring, and then the Hulk busts out.
Yeah, and then like this is kind of maybe a flashback scene of Thor's like, "How did you get here, Banner? Like, you're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be on Earth. Where are you?" And this is like the flashback, like, "Oh, the Grandmaster caught me," kind of thing.
Either way, I want my own Quinjet.
Yeah.
At the very least, I'll settle for the Lego set.
How about I'll get you a Quentin jet, because we have a friend of the podcast named Quentin.
Well, close enough, I guess.
Yeah, well, he'll do. He likes to ride bicycles. That's the Marvel news. That's the big movie news. We're going to switch into some TV and other smaller news here to wrap up the show, because we're also doing a spoiler cast after this guy, so don't forget to lose that. But Power is season 2. The show's been canceled after the second season, so we won't get season 3.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we won't have to worry about catching up with the show, keeping up with the Joneses, if you will. I think you and me I think you maybe watched more than me. I only ever caught that first episode.
I watched like 7 or 8 of the first one, but they're so hard to get if you don't have a PlayStation account. Like, I was not about to go get a PlayStation account or buy them off the PlayStation store, because I didn't think it was that good. It was good, but it wasn't that good. So, yeah, I'm sad to see it's ending after season 2, but it was a fun experiment. And
yeah, I think it was just, it's like you said, I think it was hard to acquire. Obviously you could get it official means outside of the PlayStation console, but I think that's kind of how they always envisioned it. It's like, oh, as long as we can get like, a certain percentage of our PlayStation players watching this on their consoles, the show will be a success. But then, they have to have the console, you're also battling against the time that they could be playing a video game at the same time.
Or even Netflix and other things are already subscribed to. Yeah,
exactly. So, I'll agree with you. Like you said, it was a fun experiment. Maybe we're just looking at something that was just too ahead of the curve, Maybe this will be something really, really normal in a couple of years, and Powers just tried its best. I mean, if you watch 7 episodes, it seemed like you were engaged in the content. I mean, it was definitely a quality show. I think it definitely would have done better in a different network platform.
I agree. I think anywhere but the PlayStation Network, honestly, probably would have been better for it. But yeah, I'll probably maybe catch the second season whenever I can get like a nice pack. Finish the first, watch the second.
It would be a cool place to put it. A streaming service, a paid streaming service that really needs like some killer content right now. That's something that's just no, I was gonna say YouTube Red. Like YouTube Red is pushing like kind of all of these like 10, 12 minute like comedy premium things. College Humor is doing stuff. There's other big YouTubers doing YouTube Red stuff. But like I feel like they need like some sort of like solid more like traditional like 22 minute, 30 minute show. Maybe Powers could do well over on YouTube Red. I don't know. Yeah,
maybe we'll see. I mean, the comic still comes out. There's a lot of content there. Maybe the third season gets picked up by somebody else. I could definitely see it being an Amazon show. But I don't know. We'll have to play it by ear. Everybody wants some of them comic book shows on their networks, Mike. Everybody wants some of that comic book money.
That's right.
And Powers is an easy one, so we'll definitely play that one by ear and see what happens there.
Let's put them on the Superhero Slate network. They'll pop up in your feed.
That's right. We cannot pay them, but we will definitely tell you about them on the Superhero Slate network. Oh man, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them hasn't even come out yet, but the second movie already has a release date.
Oh wow, and it's on my birthday, November 16th.
Well, now I can steal your identity. Great. So November 16th, 2018, to celebrate Mike's birthday, I will be going on the 17th probably, because I'm not going on a Friday, to watch this movie, and again, probably bring our wives back to talk about Harry Potter for the second movie. Because I foresee us sticking around through 2018, Mike. What do you think?
I mean, I'm crossing my fingers, buddy.
Yeah, no one can really fire us, so I think we're doing okay.
I think it makes sense that they're doing a sequel for sure. I'm kind of more curious if it's gonna be a Fantastic Beasts movie. I was always expecting more kind of Harry Potter, because you don't kind of refresh the Harry Potter cash flow with only one movie. You're gonna get at least 4 or 5 out of them, I think. So I'll be curious if they add a 2 onto it, or maybe they call it something else, like Beetle the Bard or something like that.
It is a direct sequel to Fantastic Beasts, so it's not going to be something else. It's going to be a direct sequel to this with the same cast.
Fantastic Beasts and How to Cook Them. It's all going to be about a barbecue cook-off and cooking these animals. Wow,
that's brilliant. Like, I'd be on that. I don't know what they could go. Like, I mean, this one's set in the past, and I don't know where. We haven't even seen the first one. We don't know where it's going to go, let alone the second one.
All I can say is my wife, she's hyped. When we see the trailer, like we see this trailer in front of just about every movie we saw this summer, and every time she's just like grabbing my hand, like wiggling up and down. She really wants to see this movie. We actually found out, unfortunately, we got to find a way to maybe see it a couple days early, or we're gonna have to wait to watch it, because we're planning an out of the country vacation roughly around that time this year. So she might be driving herself crazy.
Watch it out of the country. That'd be interesting. You watch Harry Potter in another country.
Ooh, that might be cool. That might have to be something we do.
Because I remember I was in vacation in Hawaii with my family when Spider-Man came out, the first one.
Hawaii is not in another country, right?
Yeah, I know. But like, you don't go on a vacation to watch a movie in a theater, is what I'm trying to say here.
Chris Dillard does, though.
I definitely did. My dad still reminds me about this, and he's like, we went all that way to watch Spider-Man. And I'm like,
don't you understand what kind of person your son is?
Yeah, this is a very good indication of what's going to be happening in about 15 to 20 years. But I think the thing is with it, though, is it's the first time I ever sat in stadium theater seating before.
Ooh, and you were on, so it was like double vacation for you.
Yeah, it definitely ruined every future movie going experience after that, until I was able to go to college to a big theater. So, Fantastic Beasts: Where to Find Them. The first one's coming out. We're gonna do a spoiler cast. I'm gonna call it now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Whether our wives are there to talk about it or not is up to them. Still, I'm sure they will. Did your wife buy the new book this week?
She when the book came out, it was we were in Vegas last weekend, so she didn't get a chance to go to it. Surprisingly, she does not own a copy of the book yet. But every day, she's like, "We gotta go to a bookstore today. We gotta go to a bookstore today. We gotta go to a bookstore." So we gotta manage. We gotta get ourselves to a bookstore.
I'm really surprised you didn't order it on Amazon, because that's what my wife did. And it didn't come out on release day, but when she got it, she had it done before the night was over.
Yeah, so. Well, my wife is a bit of an old soul. She shuns the idea of any sort of digital book. So
physical book from Amazon.
Yeah, but I'm saying I think she likes the idea of going into a bookstore and like picking the copy off the shelf or off the table. So I think that's kind of ingrained into her primal animal brain.
Well, that's okay. She gets to claim it as her own. Just don't let her pee on it in the store. Wait till she gets home for that.
Yeah.
Transformers 5, The Last Night. We got our first look at Hot Rod, who was in the cartoon movie, I believe, and became the character Rodimus Prime. So he takes over when Optimus dies or something like that. So he looks like a regular Transformer, to be honest with you.
He honestly looks pretty generic. He kind of looks like he looks a little bit like Bumblebee's kind of design. Yeah, he looks pretty generic.
With like Optimus Prime colors. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not too impressed by Hot Rod.
No, but now we also get to look at the new bot Squeaks, who is a little moped looking.
Yeah, I love this thing. It's so cool. He's got like a little peg leg.
He's got a peg leg. So we know Michael Bay likes to give into the racial stereotypes of the characters and where they're from.
Is he gonna talk like a pirate?
He is actually, I think, British. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I don't know if he'll talk like a pirate, but his hands are the handlebars.
This is like the most useless Transformer I've ever seen. He can't even grasp things.
He's 3 foot tall, 3.5 feet tall. He's got a peg leg, and I only see one wheel. But like, I don't know. Oh, if you look closely, it says "Clean Me" on his helmet on the back.
It's pretty funny because this doesn't look like a typical Transformer because it, like most Transformers, it's kind of more like you're turning a car inside out and like all of the robot is hidden on the inside. This is more like an art project. It looks like someone took a Vespa and just cut it up and like, okay, what looks like eyes? Oh, headlights look like eyes. Let's put those there. Oh, what looks like the mouth? Oh, maybe this little emblem looks like the mouth. So this is kind of more of a unique looking Transformer, but I just think he looks like funny. He looks kind of like stupid, so I kind of like it.
I want to see his personality. Like I think his personality is going to be entertaining in this movie. So we'll keep our eyes open for that. And
mark that as the first positive thing we've said about a Transformers movie
in a very, very long time. On the last bit of note here, another movie franchise that just won't die is Resident Evil and the last chapter. And then we have a video. It's the first teaser. It premiered. It's actually nothing. There's like this little teaser saying that the trailer is coming out August 9th.
Yeah, it looks like something that they probably put up on their Instagram because it's just a square.
Yeah, it's a square and it's 15 seconds long. Exactly the length of an Instagram video. But the world premiere teaser trailer, I'm sorry, not just regular teaser trailer, is August 9th. So we have a whole month, or no, 2 days. I'm in the wrong month. We have 2 days to see the full teaser trailer.
And I have a lifetime to not watch all of those movies.
If this supposedly, knocked on wood, is the last one, I will watch it just to say I've seen them all and is done with.
It's that completionist part of your brain.
I will get an achievement unlocked for watching all these.
We all have quirky parts of our brains, and yours is the completionist.
Yeah, it is very much so. So yeah, we'll talk probably more about that a little bit next week, but don't expect to get as much of a reaction like the Rogue One trailer out of us. So, okay, this is it. We're done, Mike. We have an hour.
What a way to wrap. That's it. We're done.
Well, I'm like, okay, we're done. I'm like, wait, no, we're not. We have a Spoilercast to record for Suicide Squad, where we get to break down what we like and what we didn't like about the movie next up. But in the meantime, if people want to, see some of your comics. I hear one of your old comics finally made it into Pokemon Go, one of the new Pokemons. Where can they find that stuff at?
Well, more importantly, I think if people want to hear me gloat about the Aerodactyl I caught yesterday, that's right, I got an Aerodactyl, and you don't. You can follow me at Mike Royer Design on Twitter and Instagram, and you can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com. But sadly, the Aerodactyl was only like $2.15 CP, so it's just like it's not even. Do you like? I sent you that screenshot of Aerodactyl yesterday. Did you notice how I scrolled down a little bit so you couldn't see CP?
I couldn't tell what level it was. And
I was just like, I want to gloat, but I don't want to give him anything to fire back with. So I was like, I'll scroll past that 215 there, so he doesn't have to see that. But I still got it.
As long as you have it, that's what matters. The completionist in me doesn't care what level it is, Mike. We just talked about this.
Yeah.
As long as you have it.
If our fans want to know what's the last thing that you've completed with your primitive animal brain, where can they follow you, Chris?
You're just mean today, Mike. Primitive animal brain. You can find me.
You can throw it back. I know I got those weird quirks. You just don't bring them up.
I don't. Well, now I know your birthday, Mike. I'm gonna remember that one. Not gonna forget your birthday now.
Oh man, I know your birthday now, but you just wait. I'm gonna get you a present.
Yeah. Oh, you surprise the shit out of you. But if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's Valdan, VALDAN. I believe this weekend I went on a Pokemon Hunt Friday as well, and there's a meme that says you don't get to over 600 Pokemon without making a few enemies in front of this guy, and the guy looks just like me. So all my friends were giving me shit. So that'll be on there. Or a Comic UI where we write news, and I'll be having the Suicide Squad written review probably up before the end of this Sunday. So it'll be up Monday for everyone to read. In the meantime, Mike, we're not only here wherever people may be listening to us. We're all over the place. Where can people find us at?
Ooh, great question. As always, I say this at the end of every episode. You can visit us at superheroslate.com. That is the best place you can find all the avenues that we post the show. We are on iTunes, YouTube, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Tumblr. You can subscribe to us and get us right in your email inbox, and you can like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. If you're a fan of the show, if any place you listen to the show has a little review box that have little stars that you can fill in and click on those stars, leave us a review. That's super helpful. Helps us get in front of some fresh faces. And if you're a super fan of the show, the best thing you can do is just share the show with a friend. Spread the love of Superhero Slate, and we will be here every week. That is under our control. We are always here. We are always infecting you every week.
Yes, that's right. We're everywhere. And we're like glitter. We're really the glitter of podcasts. We're everywhere on the internet, and you can't really get rid of us. So we're sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
Hashtag
right,
spoilers. Wait, I did at the end of the episode, didn't I?
Oh, all right. Well, goodbye, everybody, and go watch Stranger Things.
Yes.
Go watch
see
it.
you next week.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
We always have fun, Mike. That's what the show's about.